June 1990. I am a month away from getting out of Iceland, getting out of the Air Force, moving on to the next stage. I really don't have much of an anecdote. This isn't Iceland specific, but when, at least in the Air Force, we had to run a mile and a half every year in 14 minutes or something. I don't remember what it was. And it was time for me to do my annual run. And I figured I've got 2 months or less before I'm getting out of the Air Force. So I blew it off. And some lieutenant over at Keflavik, I was at Rockville, little radar site. Over in Keflavik, the lieutenant said that I either had to do the run or they would forcibly extend my stay in Iceland until I did the run. So I did it. I've never been a fan of running. Even in basic training, we ran every day. In my specialized combat training, we ran every day in gear, and I just never liked it. I don't know why. I wish I was a runner. Figure it's supposed to be healthy, right? But I've just never enjoyed it. But I was forced to do it, even though I was getting out in less than 2 months. That's the service for you. But anyway, let's get to the books. So, for those of you who watched last week's video, I ended May of 1990 with Bethany's Sin by Robert R. McCammon, and I started June of 1990 with The Night Boat by Robert R. McCammon. Coincidentally, these are the two books I don't have that I really, really want in a specific edition. But Night Boat essentially is Nazi zombies in the Caribbean, as I recall. There was a U-boat that was sunk back during World War II, and through circumstances, it rises to the surface, and some Nazi zombies come out and terrorize people. That's what I remember. I could be remembering incorrectly. I don't have a copy, so it's not like I can reread it. But it's Robert R. McCammon. I love the cover. Loved the story. Next up, The House of Doors by Brian Lumley. So there are these aliens called the Thone. I guess that's how you pronounce it. And anyway, they want to invade the Earth, I guess. And they put a whole shit ton of people in this labyrinth, the House of Doors. And if they can escape or figure it out or whatever, then the aliens won't invade. And so they're working their way through, and there's alien worlds and monsters and stuff, and it's all fears from their subconscious or something. And yeah, the humans got to outwit the aliens, apparently. I haven't read a lot of Brian Lumley. The few things I have read didn't thrill me. I was just not a fan. I know there are people that love his stuff, but just not something that grabbed me. Next, we have Bride of the Slave Monster by Craig Shaw Gardner. This is the second book in the Cineverse cycle, I think is what it's called, which is the main character is Roger Gordon, and he's got this ring, like a Captain Crusader decoder ring. And when he says, "See you in the funny papers," turns the ring, it takes him to like a movie universe. And in this one, he's trying to find Captain Crusader so that he can help stop all this evil, all these creatures and everything that are coming from these movie universes, sort of B-movie, drive-in movie universes, and causing chaos. Just fun, especially if you're into B-movies and stuff. It's fun fantasy, comedy fantasy. Then we have Night Fears by Dean R. Koontz, Edward Bryant, and Robert R. McCammon. This is a short story collection with a selection of stories by each of these three authors. When it was published, they were all original stories, according to the cover. There was an introduction by Clive Barker. I'm a huge fan of Robert R. McCammon. Back then, I was a fan of Dean Koontz. I couldn't say anything about Edward Bryant. So I assume this was some good stuff. I don't remember any of the stories that were in it. And then finally, did not read a lot, apparently, in June of 1990. I was probably getting ready to either run a mile and a half or leave Iceland. So the last thing I read was Weird Tales, edited by Marvin Kaye. And this is essentially just a collection of stories from Weird Tales magazine. I had to look it up. I knew that's what it was, but I looked it up for a little more information. And, excuse me, apparently it has stories from like every incarnation of Weird Tales up to 1987, I think I read. But it's got stories from people like Robert E. Howard. I'm looking at my little notes. Robert E. Howard, Bram Stoker, H.P. Lovecraft, Robert Bloch, H.G. Wells, Ray Bradbury, Richard Matheson. There's one credited to Harry Houdini. I don't know if he actually wrote it, because I think Lovecraft ghost wrote a story for Houdini, at least one. If I remember correctly, something about the Sphinx, but I don't think that's this story. So I don't know about that one. But anyway, I actually I added it to my wish list on Amazon when I looked it up, because I'd love to have this again. Big fan of that kind of stuff. And like I said, tons and tons. There were dozens and dozens of stories by dozens and dozens of different authors. So that's cool stuff. And Weird Tales is back. I think Jonathan Mayberry is the editor-in-chief. He's doing something with it, but it's back. I should have a subscription, but I don't, because sometimes I fall down on the job. Not that this is my job. Anyway, that's it. 5 books in June of 1990. Not sure why so few, but what are you going to do? I can't go back in time and read more. Man, it would be great if I could, though. Just get some more reading in. Anyway, there you have it. So my question for this video is going to be very simple. Have you read Robert R. McCammon? Are you a fan? If you have read him, if you are a fan, I suppose if you've read him, and even if you're not a fan, what is your favorite Robert R. McCammon? I'm not sure what I would pick. I will say that I have not read anything since his hiatus. So I think, if I remember, I may have this wrong, Gone South may have been the last book he wrote before his hiatus. I think his last 3 were Boy's Life, Mine, and Gone South. I could be completely wrong about this. I don't know what the order of the publication of those is, but I think one of those was the last one. Then he went on his hiatus for whatever, and then came back with, excuse me, I don't remember the name of it. Songbird something. I don't know. But part of a series. Excuse me. Anyway, sorry about that. I have not read any of the stuff since his hiatus. Is what I'm saying. I have some of it. I got some hardbacks. I've got The Five, I think it's called. I don't have any of that series because I haven't found editions that I like. I should just grab some, but I haven't. So I have to go with the old stuff to pick my favorite. And it's a tough call. They're all so good. Man. And it's been so long since I've read that. I loved Stinger, which was the first one I read. I mean, Swan Song is just a fantastic epic. I want to say either Bethany's Sin or Nightboat. But that could just be because they're on my mind, because they're on the list now. But I love the Nazi zombies. And I love the whole town of Bethany's Sin thing. Man, but Stinger was... Oh, man. How do people choose their favorite book? Some people just rattle them off. But it's so difficult to choose. You know what? I'm going to say... Bethany's Sin. There you go. I picked one. They Thirst is so good. It's all so good. Anyway, that's what I'm going with for now, is Bethany's Sin. So what do you like from Robert R. McCammon? I guess I could have copped out and said Blue World, which is a short story collection. But I'm going with Bethany's Sin. I'm sticking with it. What is it you like from Robert R. McCammon? And have you read the new stuff? Should I be jumping on that like right away? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronan5757, and my Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comics, board games, and fuzzy animals, is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's it. That's all I've got. So until next time, read more books.